lot of people, even Christians, do not prepare for relationships. The problem with that is they think as long as they have faith, as long as they believe in the Lord, then God will bless all their efforts and they're ready to enter into relationships. That's very, very wrong. Now, if you're a girl, of course, you got to prepare for relationships as well. But guys, dudes, if you're a Christian, you have to prepare even more because God called the men to be the leaders of the relationship. Now, let me explain a few things. First, imagine, for example, you want to buy a car, right? What do you do first? Do you buy the car first or do you apply for a driver's license first? My suggestion is get the license first before you even buy a car. Why? What if you bought the car and you don't have a license yet? It's going to sit in your garage and you're paying for it and you can't drive it. So, you're going to get tempted to do one of two things. One, you're going to be tempted to illegally drive it and you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to hurt a lot of people, you're going to probably get into accidents because you're not really ready because you never got the license. Or, you're not going to touch it at all, but then you're going to regret buying it because you're paying it without taking advantage of it. So what's going to happen? You're going to vacillate between the two. Do stupid, illegal things with the car because you were never ready, because you never got the license, or you stay paying it, you stay stuck with a relationship with a car that you never really were ready for, and now you're paying for it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Same thing with relationships. You gotta prepare. You gotta know that you're ready for marriage. You gotta be ready for, proposing, asking the girl to marry you, saying I do, all of that. And you gotta prepare holistically. Because if you're ready, then you can get married. And like the car, with a license, you can do whatever you want with the car as long as it's safe. But sadly, a lot of Christians don't do that. They don't prepare. So what happens? They enter into a relationship. They're not ready for marriage. And so they get into two problems. One, either they are so tempted to do all the wrong, illegal, immoral things with their girlfriends or boyfriends because they were never ready to be in a relationship, but they got into it and they feel like, oh man, I'm already in it and it's such a waste if I don't maximize this, right? So that's the first. Or they stay in the relationship and they're very, very frustrated and they regret getting into it, but they're stuck and they're frustrated because they have some needs and desires that they cannot fulfill, and it's the desire to fulfill it is standing right there, but there's nothing they can do, right? So be very careful. You have to prepare for relationships. Now let me explain a little bit more about leadership. I was having a really wonderful discussion with a good friend of mine about leadership, and leadership is not necessarily making all the decisions, okay? Again, leadership is not about making all the decisions, but rather leadership or submission for the girl's part is this, that the guy, the dude, the Christian man has the final say in decisions, okay? So again, if you're the guy, you don't have to make all the decisions. However, you and your girlfriend, soon to be wife hopefully, or eventually you've been talking and praying about getting married, that you don't have to make all the decisions, but you have the final say for all the decisions. As long as it's not sinful, it's not overly foolish, and it's not unbiblical, you should have the final say. And because you're the guy, you're supposed to lead, you're supposed to be called to lead. Lastly, how to prepare. Okay, how to prepare. There are a few suggestions, but the biggest suggestion I would say is this. Get into ministry in your local church. I kid you not. Enter ministry in your local church. Why? You want to learn how to lead your spouse in reading the Bible and praying? Why don't you start practicing with Bible studies? You want to know how to disciple your spouse well? How to be a good steward of her well, in a good way? Then do discipleship with people in church. You want to know how to serve her and your eventual family? Try going into ministry and serving people who are in ministry with you. If you want to learn how to be a good father, like for example, you want to learn how to serve your family as a husband, get into ministry. You want to learn how to serve your family as a husband in partnership with your wife, then get into ministry because you will be in partnership with a lot of people serving other people who are not in that ministry role. You want to learn how to be patient? Ministry will teach you that a lot. Patience, grace, forgiveness, all of that. You want to learn how to find compromises with one another, with your girlfriend, boyfriend, who will hopefully soon be your spouse. when you enter ministry, you will compromise a lot in terms of negotiating, agreeing, people's schedules, people's busyness, priorities in life. You're going to learn a lot of that. So, you want to practice for marriage? There's a very simple place where you can practice for free, and your service will actually be welcome. Ask your pastor in your church, volunteer in church ministry. I hope this helps as well. God bless you.